Hi, I'm Kate McKenzie, and I'm here in Kampala, Uganda, and I've been traveling throughout here for the last week. I've been receiving so many emails. I've been bombarded with them and with messages on Twitter and Facebook of people asking me, so Kate, tell us, what is life like in Uganda? And a lot of people who have watched the film Kony2012 and are asking me, what are my impressions having traveled to the northern parts of Uganda? So I want to share my story. It's just one perspective, and I encourage you to think critically about this. This is not a simple issue. It is complex, and there are many sides. Please do not just listen to my side. I encourage you. I've included links from other people's perspectives. Check them out. See what you think. Don't just click a button and share something, but learn about it and find out what is the background information. Many of the problems that we face in the world today are not easily understood, and it takes time, just as the solutions will take time. I've had the chance to be able to travel with 3 organizations so far that are really amazing. One is COST, Connect Africa, and Strongest Oak. Each of these foundations are doing really neat things to be able to empower people here. Not to say we have all the solutions and we're going to show you the right way, but people that are saying we want to give skills and training and have Ugandans helping Ugandans. And I have a lot of respect for that. And they're recreating and rebuilding communities that once were in conflict and once suffered quite a bit, areas that have been affected by Kony. So I got the chance to travel up to Opit and Gulu and to Atiak, all right near the northern border, right next to Sudan. And when I was up there, it was peaceful. I didn't see, there wasn't a single checkpoint or a police person or any sort of military presence. There are no longer IDP camps here. In fact, I saw where the IDP camps were, and now people are rebuilding. They've returned to where they were from. They're rebuilding their houses and they're rebuilding their communities. And it's exciting to see that. I talked with people that's told me about how water projects have brought their communities together. I'm hearing stories of hope of Muslims and Christians, of Acholi and other tribes coming together to be able to share a common need that is water. And when I came up here and I asked people, you know, what were some of the things, what were some of the issues that they were facing? No one said Kony. No one said stopping Kony. People told me that there were other issues like the road to Atiak, that everyone says, oh, it's so dusty, or in the rain, it's almost impossible to get through. Transportation was an issue. People talked about children receiving education. People talked about health care. They didn't talk to me about Kony. I heard the stories and I asked them about their stories. But what they told me was that these stories did not define them. These stories were not who they were. They were not their identity. In fact, what has impressed me so much about Ugandans is that they want to move forward and that they see this, yes, as an obstacle, and the atrocities that were committed under Kony as being something very terrible, but something that they can move on from. And in fact, they are. They're coming up with creative solutions and things that I think that we need to learn from, and reconciliation. Much of our solutions are to capture people, imprison people, find ways to make them pay. And what I'm learning here is that people are willing to forgive. And they are willing to say, let's understand, let's start a discussion. Let's give space to understand someone else's perspective. And if people here who have witnessed their neighbor or their friend killing their loved one can forgive each other, then I think that we can find ways in North America to do that same thing. Rather than thinking that we have all the solutions, I think that we need to take some time and listen and understand that this is a complex issue, one that requires critical thinking. Killing Osama bin Laden did not end terrorism, and nor will capturing or killing Kony end violence. Violence ends when communities are supported, and when we support them for the long term, like these organizations are that I told you about, not for the short term, not just a click of a button or a single tweet, but when we say, I'm going to stand next to this person, and I am going to say, what you're doing is awesome, and I'm going to keep supporting you. I'm going to find organizations that support you so that we can help to create strong communities, not just here in Africa, but back home too. So I challenge you, think about your own community. How could you have better dialogue with the people in your community? Because that's how we end violence. And that's how we prevent these kinds of things from happening again. If we blindly follow and say, oh, this touched me, this moved me, and I'm going to just react, instead of pausing, thinking, asking ourselves, what is the right course of action? What other perspectives do I need to understand? Who could I talk to better understand this? Then we are just as guilty as those who have come before us, who didn't understand the complexities of their own time. If we really want to make a difference, we could start with a single step. We could start with talking to our own neighbors, of creating peace in our own communities. And then, like the Ugandans have, share that story of peace with the rest of the world. I hope you'll see as I have that this is a beautiful place to visit, a welcoming place, a place full of hope and so much potential, a wonderful place to invest in, and a wonderful place to be able to get to know better.